as you guys are searching for a job in this extremely rough economy. So just to start off, I want to just introduce everyone. Starting at the far end, we have...
It goes in and out.
Okay. We have Mr. Ron Letourneau. He's a principal at Santa Fe Middle School, Monrovia Unified School District. And we also have Mr. Rick Crosby. He's assistant principal at Ramona Middle School, and that's Bonita Unified School District. We have Mr. Darren Knowles, Director of Personnel with Pomona Unified School District, and Ms. Laura Solis, Principal at Kingsley Elementary School, also with Pomona Unified. So just to begin, maybe if each of you can kind of give a background as to your education and how many years you've been in the field of education, and any other current information you want to give about yourself. You can start with Ron.
My name is Ron Letourneau, and I'm in my 25th year of education. And I started out as a business teacher in Covina Valley for 8 years, and then moved over to Charter Oak School District as a dean of students, and then moved into assistant principal of activities and athletics, and then assistant principal still at Charter Oak, curriculum and instruction, and then have been the last 11 years in Monrovia at Santa Fe Middle School as a principal.
And I'm Rick Crosby. I've been in education for 15 years. I taught for 10 years social science at Ramona Middle School, and then I was assistant principal at Santa Fe Middle School with Ron in Monrovia for 4 years, and now I'm in my first year back in Bonita, assistant principal at Ramona Middle School.
Hi, my name is Darren Knowles with Pomona Unified School District. I started in education back in '93 and been in education for 17 years. And started as a middle school teacher and then worked my way into an alternative program for students who had been expelled and so forth. And then became an assistant principal at the middle school and then a principal at the middle school. And now I'm a director for certificate in classified personnel for Pomona.
My name is Laura Solis, and I started in Pomona Unified as a college intern tutor, and that was in '92. So I've been there longer than you. And I became a bilingual education teacher in I want to say '97, and worked my way, I guess, lateral up as a specialist a teacher specialist for instructional services, and then an assistant principal at the elementary level, and this is my second year as a principal at an elementary school.
I was a wrestling coach at Gary High School 2 years before you. I get credit for that.
Thank you guys for that. So I'm going to ask a few questions, and then I'm going to open it up to you guys to answer any questions or ask any questions you may have. So the first one is, if the panel can speak to some of the challenges you may have faced when you began your own job search in the field of education and how you overcame them.
I'll start. It wasn't as necessarily the job search when I was a teacher. When I started teaching, it was that when they went to class reduction, when they were really looking for teachers. And I found my job by subbing at the school, and they liked me, and when a job opened up, I had an inside foot there. But when I was becoming assistant principal, I went on 10 different interviews in 10 different school districts before I landed my first job. And it's hard having that much rejection, going there every time and saying, oh, we wanted to. And 7 of those 10, I made it to the final panel. And so it was, we really like you, but we like that better every time. And so I kept going back saying, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong with you. We just wanted them instead of me. So that was hard, but you just needed to make sure and just be determined and make sure that when you are speaking to a panel that you are sure of yourself and you get across what you really want them to know, because that's your one and only time for them to hear you. But don't give up. Keep going, and I always improved after each one, and sure when you're there, you give it everything you can because that's what they're going to do.
For me, it was when I started out. I was a business teacher, so the first thing that went through my mind is who wants to hire a business teacher? And it just so happened at Northview High School, there were only 2 openings out here were 2 business teachers, and so I hooked on there. But as far as some of the challenges in my job search, to be both with the administrative piece and the education piece, is confidence in the interview, going in, believing in myself, because I constantly questioned whether or not I was good enough to be a teacher, good enough to coach, strong enough to do those type of situations. So I can't press upon you enough to believe in yourself and to have confidence in yourself. And don't be afraid to talk to people before you go in. Talk to people about an interview and the interview process. Talk to people about your letter of application. You know, is this a good quality letter? Is this what they're looking for? You want to make sure you sell yourself on the application process, but you don't want to oversell yourself. So, you know, go to people you trust and then trust in those people and trust that they'll give you advice. That's good, solid advice. You know, Darren in his position, I would go to Darren. You know, as a current principal, I go to Darren and I say, "Here, Darren, you're a director now. What do you think of this?" You know, because he's been there, so he's going to tell me, "Well, this looks good, or you might want to focus on something like that." So for me, it was a confidence piece. Once I knocked that out and realized, yeah, I'm qualified, yeah, I can do the job, then everything kind of just fell into place for me.
I think, you know, when I look at this question, and I don't think I can even compare the challenges that I went through compared to what you guys are facing right now. Back in the early 90s, there was a budget crisis in California, but nowhere near what you guys are facing right now. Some of the challenges, you know, when I first started looking for a job was, you know, was my resume correct? Is my cover letter right? You know, am I presenting myself correctly? You know, the issue about confidence and so forth. But right now, I mean, for you guys, the budget is just, I mean, it's incredible. And for you guys, it's going to be about timing. I can remember back when I first started working in personnel that, you know, I would have to, you know, drag people in and just get a warm body to get somebody into special ed. We flew a vacancy for special ed not so long ago, and we got 116 applicants. And so it's much more competitive from when I came in. Some of my challenges were more simple compared to what you guys are facing. And so, you know, hopefully tonight we can help you with some pointers that can help you.
I have to agree with the rest of the panelists. Personally for me, my challenge was in reverse almost, because it was really and truly in the mid-90s in the age of classroom size reduction. It was generally quite easy to get in there, even if you were almost, I hate saying this, underqualified, because we were functioning in the age of emergency credentials. And so the challenge actually was being good at the job and learning while you were there. That was the challenge for most of the people of my generation as a career. And I do have to agree with Darren. It is much harder now. This is probably the best time to be a student if you are one. Take advantage of it, learn a lot from it, get a mentor. That's something that you should think about in the long term. How many of you actually know somebody that is teaching or a principal or? Okay. And again, don't be afraid to ask questions, but yeah, certainly we'll speak to a little more about the actual challenges and how you can maybe overcome them, give you some ideas. And